Welcome to the EMN podcast, where philosophy meets disaster and uncomfortable truths meet the profession we call emergency management. This is not safe space thinking. This is the arena. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween and boo. I am Dan Scott. I'll be hosting today for a special podcast with our IAEM conference chair, and Duane Hagelgans is going to talk to us today about what we can expect from the IAEM conference coming up in Louisville, Kentucky. And then we're going to talk a little bit too about what's going on for next year's planned conference. But before we do that, let me welcome to the show Duane. Duane, welcome to the EMN podcast.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me. Appreciate your letting me be here on this Halloween day, as we're a little scarier here on the East, I think, than you guys are on the West Coast.
Well, I don't know. Today's a little drabby here. We're looking a little spooky outside. But yeah, it's Halloween, and it's one of my favorite times of year. This is like the time of year for me that it starts all the other holidays. So today's the day for me that I love. Plus, I like all the, I like horror genre and everything like that. So yes, it's a great day to go live and talk about the scary IAEM conference with all the challenges that have been happening coming up. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how has the government shutdown affected the conference and the planning for the conference and potential attendees for the conference.
Well, that's a great question, Dan. And every year the conference, it's a constant moving ball. So we go through our speaker selection. We get most of our speakers out in May, as you know, and then normally we have a bullpen, something that you and I've talked about in the past, where people drop out for various reasons, life happens, or they change a job or whatever. But this year, at the beginning of the year, with everything happening in the federal government, we created a pretty deep bullpen, but we didn't really anticipate the shutdown of the government. So that has us in true emergency management mode. So we're making the shuffles and we're making some arrangements. We've already unfortunately had a few people that have dropped out that are some of our federal partners, and we've got backups for them coming in. So I say backups, but the reality of it is it's not like it's a lesser audience or a lesser speaker. We always have great speakers, and we have a pretty deep bench in emergency management. So we're very fortunate that we can switch people out, and we still have great sessions. Sometimes we move people up, right? Sometimes you have somebody that's a great session, but we don't have enough room on the plenary, so we have them as a breakout. Well, this year we've had a breakout session or two that we wanted as plenaries, and now we're going to have an opportunity to have them as plenaries. We're hoping that the government can open back up here in the next 2 weeks. If not, it's going to make the conference a little bit more interesting. Some of our great federal partners may not be able to show up, but we're ready. Louisville. We got to practice that one, Dan, because if we don't say it right, boy, when you're there, they really get you. But anyway, Louisville is a great town. It'll be a great conference regardless.
Yeah, Louisville. I'm going to have to get that in my head too. Louisville. So Louisville. But I'll get it. But yeah, one of the things too about what I find great about the conference too is that the speakers are great. All that stuff is amazing to be able to interact and hear from our people that we, our colleagues from around the country, and around the world really. But it's the other stuff that happens after hours as well. There's so many things that happen there that makes the conference worth going to, with the after hours and the camaraderie and the engagements and the games and the networking. That really makes it worth the trip, worth the time too. It's a long conference, and I always go from start to finish, so it is a long conference, and to be able to go there and enjoy the speakers, but also the things that happen before and after, and the training and the networking. So let's talk about that a little bit. Can you talk about what we got going on for the engagement part of things?
Yeah, sure, 100%. And one of the things I'll say that's great about Louisville is that it is kind of central for most of us, right? It's a little bit further for you than for me, but it's there in the middle of the country, makes it nice. It's drivable for a lot of us. But then the conference, as you mentioned, we start off on Friday and we have pre-conference sessions. So we have various sessions with some of our partners like TEEX and some of our other federal partners. We have some training sessions. What we've done over the last couple of years that trying to make it more convenient for people is over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we do have some 3-day classes. We have some 2-day classes. We have some 1-day classes. Then we also realize that people are busy or maybe coming in a little later. We also have some half-day classes. And right now we're currently in the process of setting up some 1-hour classes. So if people, maybe come in Saturday or Sunday and they don't have a lot of time or they come in late, they can still pop in and take like a 1-hour class pre-conference. Then obviously, like every other year on that Thursday and Friday, we also have some sessions for post-conference trainings. But there's a lot of other activities, a lot of things going on for all of our new attendees. For our students, for our emerging professionals, a lot of us, transition from career 1 to career 2 into emergency management. We have a whole bunch of things planned on Sunday for them. We have our Embark session, which starts out this year for the first time ever, starts out off-site, which is really cool. We're going to be doing a tour of the Metro Louisville EOC to start out the Embark, and lunch will be provided. So if you sign up for that, you get lunch, you get to go see their EOC is state of the art, just completely redone in the last year down there. It's about a block or 2 from the conference center. So it makes it kind of cool. We'll be able to go in and out of there. And then after that, we do our First Steps Mixer where we bring in all the new folks and we introduce them to some of us seasoned folks that have been around long enough that our hair's been able to grow.
A girl like yours, I mean, yours is looking like pretty grown
the
there, and then there's pretty soon it'll be white, and so with me, I mean, I'm white at this point. I'm gray, so yeah, we got a little bit of gray hairs. I don't really have long hair. My long hair does not look good, so I keep it short for a reason. But that's great. But we also have the welcome parties, and then we have each night. There's almost something else too. There's IPAs and AAP or IAPs, which is great.
We do the welcome party. Hopefully everybody can be there by 5:30 on Sunday night. That's going to be at the Muhammad Ali Center, about 2 blocks from the convention center. I will say the convention center is right downtown, and some years we have walkable towns and some years we don't, right? And this year is definitely a walkable town. Once you get in town and you park your car, there's whether you're in the conference hotels or in one of the other hotels, everything's walkable. You'll park your car and you'll be using the soles of your feet the rest of the week getting around downtown. A lot of things to do downtown. So the Muhammad Ali Center is about 2 blocks away. We'll do the welcome party there Sunday night. After that, we have our IAP IPA event. So for those of you that like microbrews, we're having that event again Sunday night. And then on Monday night, we have something special because we're in. They told me last year they don't do tourism down there in Louisville. They do bourbonism, and so they, the home of a lot of great bourbon. So on Monday night, for the first time this year, we're going to actually do a bourbon tasting. That has sold out. We had 72. Oh. They can put 72 people in that facility, and that's a tour and bourbon tasting. If you're interested in that and you're not already signed up, you can get on the wait list for that. So that's Monday night. And then something we started probably 2 years ago, Tuesday nights we're leaving free for people to go out and hang out with friends or whatever. A couple of the regions, in fact, I think your region, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 maybe are getting together Tuesday night. 3's getting together Tuesday night. 5, I think, is getting together Tuesday night. So some of the regions, some of those other things. So Tuesday night's a free night so that people can, go out and network, get to hang out with the new friends they've met, or maybe some old friends that they only get to see at the conference. So lots and lots to do, lots of opportunities. Obviously, AMX opens up on Monday night. It'll be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have sold out. It's well over 130 vendors this year. It's the largest exhibit hall we've ever had, and we filled it. Says something about our conference, says something about That's our awesome. Attendees, and certainly says something about our great vendors that they want to fill that massive hall.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the conference. I mean, for me, I guess I'm biased because I love IAM, but every year I've gone, it's been an amazing conference. But the exhibit hall that is put together is amazing. I mean, there's just so
Yes.
many vendors there, so many people that interact with. You get to meet people and you build relationships. But you get the conference part of the day, which you go in, you get the sessions, and you get some great
Yep.
speakers. But it's the
Yep.
after hours stuff where you really get to network with people, and
100%.
it's amazing. I love it. I mean, that's the one conference every year that I will not miss. If I can avoid it, I will not miss IAM.
Yep.
So uh, I 100%, feel like anybody, if you're watching this, whoever are listening, you got to go to IAM, or you got to plan on going to next year's IAM, which is going to be in Long Beach, California. And every year it's the conference moves around. So we talk a little bit about that.
Sure. And I did want to mention one thing that I forgot to mention earlier. You talk about networking. This year we have 67 posters being presented with member
Amazing.
and attendee research. So if you go back 10 years ago, we would get maybe 6 or 7 posters. We literally have 67 folks coming to present their research on emergency management. So make sure you find them on Tuesday during the Tuesday morning break. They'll be out there by their posters and when you talk about networking. But yeah, next year, very excited to come back to California. You might remember the last time we were in California, you guys had a hurricane, I think, before we got there.
Yeah, we did. Well, they wanted to classify it as a hurricane, but that atmospheric river that we took that took place. Yeah. So
Yeah, so next year we're hoping for the sunny, bright Southern California sunshine to come back to Long Beach. Long Beach is such a great city there, in the heart of, I guess it's Southern California to me. And we'll be back there next year at the conference center. We're already planning, believe it or not, for next year's conference. People think that this conference thing is a month or two. But as you're well aware, Dan, from being on our committee, man, we're already planning 2026, even though we haven't gotten to 2025 yet, because of, we're constantly making adjustments. We love the feedback from the attendees, and they go, hey, what about this? What about that? And so we kind of one of the things I think you can attest to is that it's not like every year you come to the conference and it's the same thing. The networking is the same. You get to network. We have sessions. That's the same. We have plenaries. That's the same. But we're constantly changing it to try and make it better for the attendees and make them get the most value out of it. And so we're already looking at next year in California. I'm excited to come back to California. It's been a couple of years. Actually, I guess the last time I was in California was for the conference. And so that was 3 years ago, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we're in our rotation. For those that are unfamiliar with our conferences, as Dan said, we do bounce around. So this is our first year in Louisville, which is a first time there, which is, for those of you who have never been there, boy, it's a great town. Again, great walkable town, lots to do. We have a trip on Friday night out to the racetrack to see where they do the Kentucky Derby and whatnot. And then next year we'll be in Louisville, and the year after that, I think we're going back to Colorado Springs, and then we hit our one of our old favorites, Savannah, the year after that. So we like to move around and get to see different places. I think that makes our conference very unique. Some conferences are always, hey, it's always in X city. Well, there's some pros to that, but I think the moving around is cool because it gives other people the opportunity. You might not be able to travel across the country, so that's why we like it. But yeah, we're really looking forward to Long Beach. We have a good history with Long Beach, and we know the area well. We get there to see other stuff, see the Great West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, last year was our first year in Colorado Springs, which was amazing. It's cold, but it was amazing. And now we're going to be in Louisville, which for our first time, which is great. And then so there's a lot. I mean, the transferring of locations really does make one more aspect of things that we can enjoy when we're going to conferences, because some of it for some of us it's experiencing something new in the location and where they someplace I've never been, being able to go and explore. make a little vacation out of it at the front or back end of a conference. But all the stuff that happens in the conference, there's a lot that goes into it, as you said, with being a part of the conference committee. Yeah, I mean, we're thinking of years out when it comes to this planning, and it's not just for a couple months we get together and we put together. No, years out, you're already planning and getting locations for years out, and then how we're going to start putting out our speakers and how we're going to engage our attendees and how we're going to get more students and how we're going to get more posters and what other activities can we add to the board, and what's in the area where we can bring people or they can bring in to meet and give additional resources and bring value to the people that are actually coming. Looking at feedback to see how we can actually implement that, if it's implementable. These are all things that are continuous. So I love the process. It's ongoing. It's almost every month. It's a meeting with sub meetings that take place with different specific groups that are in charge of specific things. So there's a lot that goes into it. So it's just definitely not just let's meet once or twice beforehand and see what we can put together. It's a lot of work, especially now. I mean, as you said, with all the redundancies that we have to take place because of an unexpected government shutdown, which, as far as I can remember, this is the longest I've seen a shutdown go so far in my recollection. Whether that's true or not, I could be completely out of it. So when it comes down to students, I want to talk about students, because students is a growing area where we're actually engaging more and more students, and we're every year more and more attend. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So you might remember, Dan, many years ago, we used to have just like we called it a student day. So, Sunday, if you were a student, you came in and we'd do a little bit of this with you, a little bit of that. Then we'd have the career workshop for you where we would look at your resumes, or we do some job interviews. The students, I'm not sure how many years ago it is now, but we kind of evolved from students to all emerging professionals, because we do have folks transitioning from other careers. And so the Embark idea was born. And so we'll have, 60-ish people in that Embark on Sunday. We'll have 200 people in the First Steps mixers, which is a lot of students in there. One of the other things we're doing this year, which you remember from some of our calls, is we're trying to tie everything together when it comes to students and new professionals. So what does that mean? That means, you come in on Sunday and we hit, Sunday, like this year, you'll do the EOC, and then you'll do the Embark, then you do the First Steps, and you'll do the welcome party. But then on Monday at lunch, we're having special tables set up where students and new members will be able to sit down and have lunch with some of our seasoned members like you and I, to kind of like pick our brains a little bit to see what it's like, in the profession. And then Tuesday, we'll roll into our career workshop. And then Wednesday, we're going to do some things with students too. Our goal is that, some of us are getting a little long on the tooth here, as they say, and it's time for the next generation to come along. And the world is just a-changing, as we know. And so we're trying to do as much as we can for students, because, again, as you're well aware, it wasn't too awful long ago where you couldn't even get higher education, in emergency management. And now there's programs out there. So how do we bring the educational aspect, which is what I do, along with the experience aspect, stuff that you do and others do, right? So that when this next generation comes along, they have the college education and the theory and all that, but they also have the experience. So this conference is where I think we really bring those two concepts together of experience and education, where, here's some 20-year-old that's studying emergency management, and all of a sudden they come to this international conference and they get to meet the people that are guiding policy in our country, the people that are doing whatever type of emergency management it is. I mean, every semester, the first question I get from parents bringing their students to the university is, well, what kind of jobs are there? And it's like, well, how much time do you have for me to tell you how many different jobs there are in emergency management, right? As we know, emergency management is this umbrella that touches everybody, and there's so many different opportunities in emergency management. So we're doing our best to try and bring as many students as we can to the conference. They do get a reduced rate to come to the conference. And in addition to that, Over the years, students have come in and they've worked maybe at the registration desk. They can take, $25 an hour off their fees to try and make it worth their while. And we try and provide them with as much as possible, because we realize as our profession grows and as we age, so to speak, that educational component is really, really important to what we do. And so we need to be able to make sure that the next generation is there. So we do a lot for the students. We got all the student chapters. I know that Carol continue to work with all the universities to try and grow even more student chapters. So if you are somewhere out there in some college and they don't have a student chapter, look to start a student chapter. You can get a hold of Carol at IAEM. Or the other thing, if for those of us, yourself, Dan, and others working out in the field, we're always looking for somebody to volunteer. We're looking for somebody to come in and help with a little research, or somebody to help with some planning, whatever the document may be. Boy, there's always students out there looking to take on that work, to learn about the profession, right, and get that opportunity. So we're really over the last couple of years, we've really emphasized the student and the student commitment from IAEM, because we recognize the fact that the profession needs constant new blood coming in. As the profession grows, as what we do grows. So yeah, so we're doing a lot for the students and continue to do a lot for the students to help them out.
That, for me, students just have that they have a special place with me. I mean, a lot of it is because when I turned into, or kind of started into, the emergency management profession from being a responder, I had to become a student myself. And then when I became a student, I actually started at IAM as a student member, because I started going back to school. And then I've literally watched students that have come in, and we got these professors that bring a pack of students with them from their college program, which is amazing. And I literally have watched students over the years grow into their degree program as they've started to graduate, which is amazing to see somebody go from first year to graduating a program and look into the field. And they still communicate with me to this day on, getting my advice and stuff like that on some of their career or transition to what profession they'd like to go to, or what organization they might want to work for, or how they want to apply it. So the student part of things has always played a big role for me. I actually had that podcast EM student at one time, because I was an EM student and I was trying to educate more EM people on becoming students. But if you notice, you got people that are transitioning from one profession to emergency management. But now we're seeing a lot more of kids going to college to become emergency managers, which is a great thing to see in our profession. So the student chapters and all the things that we do for students is amazing. So as we start to, do you have something you want to add?
I was going to say, one of the things that you've seen, I'm sure, and I know I've seen, I remember over the last 10 years, you see some of these fresh-faced young college kids that are enthusiastic. Now, a lot of those folks, you look out and they're in leadership roles in IAEM. They're leading committees, they're vice chairing committees, they're forming new committees and caucuses. So yeah, it's exciting to watch. I've had a few of my students that, I've just kind of watched them from that first day they came in and they couldn't spell emergency management to today, leading the charge with some of the things that we're doing. So yeah, I too, obviously am very excited about it.
Amazing. So as we wrap it up, let's talk about just the basic question, the common sense question of why should people come to the IAEM conference?
It's the place to be. I mean, the number one thing, and I tell everybody this, is networking. You've said it a few times now. I've said it a few times. I mean, look at, you and I, Dan, met at EMI, I believe, years ago, and then we reconnected through IAEM, ago, yeah. Right? And so you have the ability, to go up and see somebody that wrote the book, or somebody that works at some university, or somebody that works in the federal government or the state government or local government, or somebody that works in the banking industry or the healthcare and hospital field. And so you have all these people that have all these various roles within our profession, and they're all at this conference networking. And more importantly, and I can't say that I've ever walked up to anybody at one of our conferences and didn't strike up a conversation with them, and had a great conversation, and they became a lifelong friend, right? And you got that Rolodex of people. It's like, hey, I need something on such and such. I'm working on this project. Wait, who do I know? Oh, I know so and so, and you reach out to them, right? And that's what's great about our profession. They're all here. Um, that networking opportunity, and like you said, there's a lot of training and education, but that networking part between sessions, at lunch, at dinner, in the EMX, afterwards, outside, whatever that is, that networking, and we are still a small profession, no matter what anybody wants to believe, in comparison to a lot of professions. So coming to this conference gets you that opportunity to ask those important questions you want to know, or maybe find the next job, or maybe find an internship if you're a student. But there's just, it's just the place where you come together and you help. Literally, when you're at our conference, you help shape our profession. Government affairs has done a lot of hard lifting this last year with everything that's happening. Well, guess what? There's going to be a bunch of presentations by those folks at the conference. The folks that are leading that charge will be there, and you can be there hearing, and you can be there giving input into your ideas and your thoughts about what this great profession does next. So I just networking, the ability to meet great people, to reconnect with people that maybe you haven't seen in years, or make new lifelong friends, I think is the key to all of this.
I 100% agree with that. The conference itself is one of those. I'm thinking about it like it's ChatGPT right now, right? It's you as the individual going in, and you have a vast majority of information at your fingertips that you can engage with in people and their networks. And you don't have to just create it from scratch. You can go in and say, if you want to exponentially grow as an emergency manager, as a professional, you go to this conference.
Yep.
And you will come out of it with so much more knowledge and so much more skill and so much more information than you ever had before.
100%. 100%. I mean, people always say we used to go to EMI because you got to meet people from all over the country, right? And you got to network. Well, that's what our conference is, but our conference is people from all over the world. We have international presenters every year at our conference. There's going to be a bunch this year also. So you meet everybody from all over the world. You might meet somebody that is doing some emergency management job that you might not even know that existed before you heard them talk, or you did know about it, and you get the opportunity to find out more about how they do their part of our great profession. And it's just one great big happy family. That's the best way to describe
amazing.
it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I 100% agree with that. Well, Duane, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about this. Is there any last words you have for those who are listening or watching right now about the conference and IAEM in general?
I mean, thank you for obviously allowing me to be on here today. Thank you for allowing us to spread the word of IAEM. IAEM is out there, every day, boots on the ground, trying to help our profession. We know there's a little bit of turmoil in the last year, right, in our profession, somewhat. But one of the things we know is that disasters aren't going to go anywhere, and we're still going to exist, whatever that looks like. And so I appreciate everything that everybody does every day. I appreciate what you do, Dan. If you see Dan at the conference, say hi to him. If you see me at the conference, say hi to me. If you want to get involved in building a great conference, as Dan will tell you, the conference committee is always looking for good members. And the beauty of the conference committee is that you do get involved in a lot of areas of IAEM, because we deal with all the various committees and conferences. So it gives you a good overview of IAEM as a whole. If you're not a member, think about joining. We're a great organization. We're doing great things, and we're going in the right direction year in and year out. We just keep going up that hill. People sometimes try and stop us, obviously, some of the politics and whatnot, but it's not stopping us, because at the end of the day, all of us in this profession, we're not here for the politicians. We're here for the citizens, and that's what IAEM is all about. Our communities and those people that need help. So Dan, again, thank you very much for having me. Love coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just one thing before we go, if someone is interested in joining the committee or being a part of growing in the IAEM organization, where can they reach out to you?
Great point. So you will also see posters in the area where we display the posters, and it'll have all of our committees and caucuses have their own poster. So you'll see one for the conference committee, and it'll have my contact information, Julie's contact information. You can reach out to us, email me, email her. We start with a new team right in November. So November we'll start forming the team for next year. And if you're interested in any other committee and caucus and you don't know what they do, we have posters there that say, hey, here's the critical infrastructure committee, and here's what they do, and here's their leadership. And those posters are really like a way to market so people understand how you get involved. You know, you can sit on the bench all day long and be a member of IAEM, but as Dan will attest to, as I'll attest to, getting involved in committees and working with committees, you meet great people, and you literally get to help this profession move forward. So get involved. Don't just sit on the bench or be that wallflower, right? Get on a committee or a caucus.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, Duane, thanks again for joining us, talking to us about IAEM, talking to us about for the conference. And you sold it to me. I mean, I was already going, so I appreciate it. For all those who are out there, and yeah, absolutely. For all those who are out there and listening and watching, hope you get to see you at IAEM. We'll be there. If you do, please come say hello to myself. Todd's going to be there. Duane's going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there that you can connect with and engage with. It's going to be a great thing to do. My name is Dan Scott. This is the EM Media Podcast, and we will talk to you next time.
When the sirens scream out loud, we're the voice that breaks the cloud. Heads out high when things go wrong. We'll guide you through with strength and song. Disaster strikes without a sound. Chaos reigns, but we're around. Public safety in our hands. Standing strong in every land. Emergency management.